Hey, hello friends. Welcome in one more session. Today we have Vikas with us. He's a part of our community WhatsApp group. And recently he has cleared not one, not two, not three, six interviews, friend. Yes, you heard it right. Six interviews, friend. Accenture, Cognizant, Deloitte, Fidelity, IBM, and recently Capgemini. So this session is going to be a mix of all those interviews which he have already given in the past and successfully cleared it. So all these questions are already been asked in those previous questions. So let's start. Hey Vikas, thanks for your time.
Hi, Sunan. Thanks for the opportunity that you gave me. Yeah, thank
Hey,
you.
great. Yeah, thanks, Vikas. Okay, so let's start with our very first question. So tell us about the complete process of the software development, like from start, how the requirements will come and captured until the time the product is delivered into the production.
Sure. So basically, the software development start from the ideation phase. Where the idea is being brought by doing different kind of market research performed by the business owners of the organization. And once they have a clear-cut idea and they have an understanding of where the market is going and what kind of product the end customer is looking for, then the requirement phase starts where the product owner as well as the business owner, the business analyst or the team, they capture the requirement by different means like focus group interview, then surveys, and developing prototype, and that prototype goes into multiple refinement to the in various meetings. And then once the requirement is finalized, and the product owner and the business analyst have definite requirement from the business owner as the customers, they bring in the requirement with the team. Now here in my team, we follow the safe framework. So when the product owner has definite list of features for the product, the features are being broken down into smaller pieces, that is user stories, which with the team, in my case, do during the PI planning meeting. When the features, then the user stories are being brought into Jira board for tracking, and so that and adding much details to it. And that's when the process of software development is being kicked off. Now those features and the user stories are being groomed, matured, and more discussions are added to it. The development starts. The developer team start working on it. Many times nowadays, the team follows ATDD or TDD approach or BDD approach, where the testing also starts simultaneously or parallelly when the development starts, like designing the test cases so that the developer gets a testable. So that it helps the developer to develop a testable feature. And the work, basically the work of the user story starts. And once the user story is finished, okay, when I say finished, it is satisfying the DOD checklist, and it is done. Then the piece of code is deployed in the test environment, in the DevOps ways of working. When it is deployed in the test environment, and or the test cases are run on it, and seen that if any bugs are coming out of it. And once all the bugs are cleared out, everything is passing, the scene is deployed in the pre-prod environment and then to the production environment. Okay, and this is how the software is released. And in between that, there will be multiple refinement sessions. Sometimes also the requirements will also get refined, the requirements will change, and all those things happen parallelly. Even what to say, the testing will happen, the bugs will come in. Okay, and this is how the complete life cycle of the software testing looks like.
And what is your role as a Scrum Master in this whole process?
So as a Scrum Master, my major role comes in when we do the PI planning. But before the PI planning as well, when the team is in talk with the business owner and the customer, I encourage my senior team members, okay, also the technical architect, to participate in those discussions so that we don't have a single point of failure. Okay, I encourage my team member to participate in that, so that not only the product owner, though it's product only owner major responsibility, but not only the product owner, but also other members in the team have an idea of what is the requirement and what is the what is the need of the customer. So it's not possible every time, but wherever it is possible, I try to encourage my team members to do it. Now when the product owner has definite set of requirement in the prioritized list, Okay, during the PI planning meeting, my role is to set the context. Okay, explain what is the purpose of this meeting, why are we, why are we here, and what we need to do in this, limited time that is given. So during the breakout session, the team breakout session, the team gathers together. They, the product owner introduces about the, the ultimate goal that the business owner are looking to achieve in the in the upcoming PI, and then he talks about the features, all the features at high level. Okay, and then he gives the priority of the feature as well. Now, as a Scrum Master, I ensure that this, all these things happen smoothly. If anything is missing, point out that, yeah, we also need to cover this. Ensure that, the team is preparing the plan for all the upcoming iterations properly. Yeah, and at the start of the, PI, I also capture the team holidays and the company holidays so as to estimate how much velocity the team can, commit in each of the iterations. And then as per that, we put the stories in the iterations. And I give, during that time, I'm just as, keen observer as a Scrum Master that everything is happening properly or not. And whenever, during definition of PI goals, the risk, I keep a check whether the team, the product owner and the team together, they are defining the SMART goals or not. So I always encourage my team to define SMART goals because, that helps. That is a good way of, working. That is one of the good best practices in the industry. Then, after the PI is, done, and, all the requirements and the user stories breakdown is proper and the dependencies are marked, risks are, highlighted, all those things is done. Then we go into the, normal iteration or the sprint cycle, which starts with the sprint planning meeting, and then, daily Scrum call, and then the review and the retrospective. So there, it's my responsibility to to drive the team, make sure the team is not facing any, or the team is not blocked by any impediment. Make sure those impediments are clear. Give a proper direction to the team. Ensure that the Scrum guidelines are properly followed, and, tailor it in a way that the team, it doesn't, disrupt the team. So many times, we it's not like that we have to, follow Scrum guidelines very stringently. Sometimes I will give an example that, my team, there are few members who are based out in India. There are few members who are based out from different location in the other geographies. Okay, so for our team, we don't conduct the release Scrum call at the morning India time. We conduct the Scrum call in the afternoon India time, so that, it is suitable for everyone. Okay, and also sometimes, some people are not able to attend. So, for them, it's important that they give the update of their work on the teams. They, just highlight it there. So because we have to be we have to show empathy that, during this COVID times, people have some personal challenges. So, following a stringent rule sometimes may not help. Okay, a little bit flexibility always help. And, the team, it helps to motivate the team as well. The now other thing is that, after the software is, after the work has been done, ensuring that the definition of all the stories are properly passing the definition of done. When the story is committed, all the stories are properly passing the definition of ready criteria. Again, is some of the things that I keep a look into. When all the work items are present in the Jira tool, ensuring that the tickets are properly updated, backlog refinement session happens frequently, and, is happening in the positive, and, for the purpose it is made for. So these are some of the things that I do as a Scrum Master. And again, once the piece of code is developed, it is being pushed in the, test environment, and then, ensuring that the team is also focusing on bugs and not only in developing the features. Okay, also is a responsibility that I place as Scrum Master. So making sure that we do a quality delivery, and we deliver in time as per the customer expectation is something that I do as a Scrum Master. So this is the summary of whatever I was explaining.
Okay, thanks, Vikas, for that. Okay, so the next one is more like a situational kind of question. So let's assume that we have a 2-week sprint, and your team has committed with some high priority items in the sprint, this particular sprint. And let's assume that few of the items are not finished on time. And in the next week, there is a big release is going to happen. Some product increment has to be there. So what you should do in such a critical time as a Scrum Master?
So identifying, the first step that I do as a Scrum Master is identifying the work items that is not going to complete. And again, once we have highlighted those work items which are not going to complete, driving the focus of the team towards the high priority work items. So normally as a Scrum Master, I ask the product owner, I give him the, I tell him the real life situation right now currently we are facing with, that the team may not be able to complete all the work items, although all the work items may be high priority. But again, we have to choose among this high priority item what is the highest priority, and try to focus first on delivering that work items. Again, during the daily Scrum call, highlighting the team, highlighting in front of all the team members that, yeah, these are the work items that the team, may not be able to achieve. Again, drive the focus, drive the focus of the team, and to ensure that there is a risk to the completion of the project. Sorry, the completion of the goal that the team has completed. And in that one thing, it serves two purpose. The product owner is informed. The other thing is that the team members can come together and put in some extra efforts, and drive that work to closer. Also, asking the team to just stress a little bit of their time. Normally I don't ask the team members to work more than the required amount of time, but in difficult times, in some when the delivery is very urgent, asking the team member if they can extend their working hours is something again that I do as a Scrum Master, so that the deliverable, the minimum viable product, what is expected in that particular release, is delivered. This is again, this is something that I do as a Scrum Master in that kind of situation, Sunam. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Vikas, for that. And can you just share like your top two challenges or the recent challenges which you faced as a Scrum Master and how you are going to work with them?
Okay. So challenges comes in different forms. I'll say, that some of the common challenges that I have faced as a Scrum Master is with related to first, like the understanding of the team doesn't have a understanding of the agile concepts. Okay, the team doesn't understand all the agile ceremonies properly. They don't understand why the ceremony is conducted, and or why retrospective is needed. Okay, so in one case, I will like to explain that one of the team member approached me, and he was asking me, see, I understand that all the other ceremonies are related to the product, okay, related to product development, and like it can be either enhancement of the stories, enhancement of the features, or delivering the feature, discussing about the impediments. But why retrospective? Okay, this is nowhere related to the product. So why do we have retrospective meeting every sprint? So, this is one of the challenges I have faced as a Scrum Master. And in that case, normally what I do is my first approach is to coach him or her personally, understand his reservation, why he thinks it's not a good ceremony to have, and coach him accordingly. Tell him that him or her that what is the intention of this meeting, how it will help to improve the team to how it will help the team to improve itself in the processes. Are some of the things that I have done. So again, whenever the team doesn't have a good understanding, or that the team is not doing the meeting the way it should be done, the first step is to coach the team member, because counterproductive behavior should neither be accepted nor be ignored. If any team member is just is against the retrospective, and he's raising his voice and telling it to everyone, that is not something that is acceptable. As a Scrum Master, we have to act on it. Okay, and first understand the reservation, and then explain him, coach him, and try to change his behavior. Okay. Other thing, other things that I have faced challenges as a Scrum Master is timely, resolution of the problem. Okay, so one thing that I would like to highlight recently that happens, some of the new team members joined our team. Okay, so they joined the team, but they were not having the right set of tools, access to the right set of tools, and even they were working on the VPN network. They were not having the laptops. So getting a timely resolution of this kind of problems is again a challenge as a Scrum Master that I have faced. And in that case, whenever see, so again, in context to that example that I was giving, So in this case, I went to the project management people, okay, project higher stakeholders, project stakeholders, program stakeholders, and then I highlighted this impediment and asked them to resolve it as soon as possible, because if although the team is of size 10, but because the two members are not able to contribute, you can consider it is of 8 people size, okay, because they are not able to contribute to the work items. So again, acting spontaneously, acting as soon as possible as a Scrum Master is something that I normally opt for in this kind of situation.
Okay, and what about the different sort of conflicts? Could you share some of your recent conflict and how do you work with them?
Yeah. So conflict is any disagreement between two or more parties. Okay. So see, conflict can come in many different forms. The work style conflict, task-based conflict, and personality-based conflict. There are different kinds of conflicts. But as a Scrum Master, my approach is that highlight, identify if there is a conflict or not. The second thing is that never take sides on the conflict and act on it as soon as possible. Okay, so one of the recent conflict that I would like to highlight, and I would like to follow the star way of highlighting the conflict, that is situation, task, and then action, and then result. So what happened was, the business analyst of our team, he was supposed to prepare the design specification and configuration specification document. So our team is a new team in the overall account, and the expectation from our team is that we follow a new ways of working that is being told by the senior management. Okay, so because our is a new team, so they want us to follow the new ways of working from the start. And the business analyst, while preparing the DS and CS document, he was following the template that was used before by the other teams for preparing the same document. But the technical architect of the team, because he was the first person to review the document, he was not agreeing to the template that the business analyst was proposing. Though there were some or here and there changes he made to the document, but again the technical architect was not agreeing to the fact. And I didn't know the conflict, because in this distributed ways of working, it is difficult to identify conflict nowadays. But again, after some time, the business analyst told me that he is impeded by this, because the technical architect is not giving his go ahead on this document, and because of which he is not able to progress. And I think I don't know if he's having some issues with me. Okay, but it was never the case. I had a word with the technical architect. I understood that there was nothing personal. It was more of a something that because that the higher management expectation from the team is different. So he just wanted to improvise on that. So as a Scrum Master, the action that I took was I called a meeting where the technical architect, business analyst, myself, the Scrum Master, the product owner of the team, as well as the system architect, and he's one of his team member from the tag team was present to discuss on what is a template and finalize the template of the document that we will follow going further. Okay, it was a 1-hour meeting, and we had many round of discussion on the same like on some of the topics. And finally, the team together was able to decide on what is a template that we are going to use for the same document. And as a result of which, the template was decided, and our team follows the same template now, and everything is running smooth in that case. Yeah.
Hey, thanks, Vikas, for that. Okay, so the next one is based on the Agile principle. So one of the principle of Agile is simplicity. The art of maximizing the amount of work not done is important and essential. So could you please explain this particular principle? What is your thought on that?
So this principle says basically that if some work is not contributing directly to the development, or not maximizing the value of the product, okay, it is better not to do it. Okay, it is better not to do it in the sense that if there is a process. Okay, if I explain, suppose previously the the testing used to happen after like previously when DevOps was not there. Okay, when the development team would develop a feature, okay, the testing will be followed by that, okay. And whenever the development team develops a feature, he will again put it somewhere or tell his testing team member that, yeah, we have completed, just go and test about it, okay. But what if now when the DevOps is implemented, okay, now if you see that many of the projects follow continuous testing process, as and when the developer team member has done their part of the piece of the code, they push the code in the repository, and then the build gets generated and automatic testing happens, okay. So in a way, this process of passing on the work from developer to tester has been simplified by DevOps. And this is what agile one of the agile principle focuses on, that use simple methods whenever possible and whenever required. Don't use steps which will complicate things. Other things, one of the other example that I would like to give is that uh, in my case, as a Scrum Master, I always motivate my team to create reusable items, okay, reusable item repository, so that whenever a user story or feature of similar theme comes in the team can use uh, those reusable items to save time, okay. So in that case, what I've done is I have simplified the process. The team need not to start the story from the scratch and start working on it from the scratch, okay. They can simply use the reusable item, plug in and plug in the to the that piece of code, or wherever possible, and use it. And in that way, the process has been made simple, and it is not complicated right now. So yeah, these are some of the examples that I would like to highlight for that particular principle.
Yeah, thanks, Vikas, for that. And what do you think, as a Scrum Master, which one is your greatest achievement so far?
So few things that I consider as an achievement as a Scrum Master is that the team is able to deliver the sprint goal. The team is able to complete the committed retrospective items. The team harmony in the team is good. They are self organizing and self managing. Okay, but again, all of this can be summarized into the maturity of the team. Okay, I consider, if I'm a good Scrum Master, if from this, like when I started and when I ended, if I have taken the team from maturity level 1 to maturity level 2 or 3, then I feel that I have been a successful Scrum Master. So it is not a single day work. It is a continuous process. You need to continuously coach the team, find out ways of improvement, where how the team processes can be improved. And again, this cannot be done single-handedly by Scrum Master. As a Scrum Master, I always try to involve entire team members to contribute towards improvising the process of the team. And if I've taken the team from maturity level 1 to maturity level 3, I think it is a achievement for me. So what happens is that in my in the program, at the program level, there are agile coaches. They at frequent times, they uh, lay out and give the survey to the team members on different fronts, asking them question on different fronts, like how do you think the sprint planning is going, who is conducting the sprint planning, who is assigning the work to you. So there are many questions, and there are options in that, okay. And they collect the responses from all the team members, all the members in that particular account, and then they uh, you know uh, give the rating to the teams, okay, whether the team is where is the team standing in the maturity scale. And if we can measure that, if the team has improved 1 or 2 levels in the maturity scale, that again I will call is one of the biggest achievement as a Scrum Master. Yes, Sunil. Yeah.
So this is how you measure the maturity of team members. You just mentioned
Yeah,
from a scale.
yeah, there is a scale. So the in my previous account, the agile coach was there, so he used to give this circulate the surveys, okay, survey kind of questionnaires, okay. And they have a framework in which as per the answers and the responses from all the team members, they used to circulate it to all the team members for different projects, okay. And for each of the project, they will give a maturity assessment, agile maturity assessment on where the team is standing in terms of agile. Yeah.
Okay, okay, sounds good. Okay, so will you? The next question is about Scrum guidelines. So will you follow all the Scrum guidelines even if your client is not happy following them all? And
Uh,
Yeah, there can be anything. Let's say he can come up with that this particular event is just waste of time or something like that. So how do you work with this sort of clients?
So first thing is that as per the Scrum guide and as a Scrum master, it's essential that I advocate that all the ceremonies, all the ceremonies and events in Agile and Scrum, whatever is written in the Scrum is essential for the team, and they serve. So, every of the meetings serves some of the purpose, for a better software development. But again, many a time as a Scrum Master, we need to understand the nature of the business. Okay, we need to understand the dynamics of the business, and tailor made the policy, the what to say, the ceremonies. Okay, so it may happen that the team is, suppose, just to give an example. Okay, the team is very small. Okay, the team is very small size. Suppose 3 members, 3 or 4 members team, and the communication between the team is awesome. They have a very good transparency between all the team members. Okay, and everyone in the team knows about everyone work. Okay, so in that case, there is no need for a formal daily scrum to happen. The team can have this meeting over a cup of coffee. If they discuss it among themselves, that this is what we are working on, this is the impediment, and there's a transparency within all the team members, that they understand what is the sprint progress, where each of the other members of the team is standing, and where they are. Why not? We can skip a daily scrum call. Okay, because the purpose of the daily scrum call is served, that the transparency is brought in the team. Everyone is everyone understand every other's work, and there is a collaboration. They have highlighted, they have plans to do what they are going to do for today. So the purpose of daily scrum call is achieved, and in that case, I think the meeting can be tailor made. It need not to have a 15 minutes, particular deadline of 15 minutes. It can happen over 5 minutes or 10 minutes, just a small meeting, and we can conclude that. So again, depends on the nature. I will say, every scrum ceremony is important, but we have to understand the end purpose of all the scrum ceremony and all the artifacts. Okay, if that is served in some or the other way, okay, I'll think that that should be the major goal of the scrum as a scrum master. And that can only be done once, only when the scrum master understands that the dynamics of the business, and dynamics of the team, and the what to say, where the team is going, how mature the team is. Yeah, so it has to be custom or tailor made as per the situation.
Okay, Vikas. So what's the difference between a burn up and a burn down chart, and where we basically use them?
So burn down chart basically represent the remaining amount of work. It can be a remaining amount of work for a sprint or for a release, whereas the burn up chart shows the amount of work that is completed, again, for the sprint or for the release. So basically, one of the major difference between burn up and burn down chart is that burn up chart has the scope line apart from the actual and the ideal line, which helps to understand whenever there's a scope creep, or whenever there's a increase or decrease in the amount of work. So that is one of the advantages of burn up chart. So normally, I have used burn down chart at the team level, to understand what is the progress of the team, and understand the release progress as well. How much time, how much work is remaining in the release, or how much work is remaining in the sprint, and plan accordingly, that and understand whether the completion is at risk or not, and plan accordingly how to mitigate that risk. And burn up chart normally I have used in the scrum of scrum meetings, where and in the larger in front of the other stakeholders, where I need to highlight that this is the work we have completed so far, and this is the work we have completed since the last meeting till now. And whenever there's a scope increase or decrease, we can show that the scope has also increased, and as per that we are standing here. So this is the places I have used burn up and burn down chart. Yes, Sunil.
And how do you improve as a Scrum Master yourself?
So improvement comes in many ways. I think as a as a person, there has to be personal improvement as well. There has to be professional improvement as well. Okay. So personally, there are many areas where I would like to improve. Some things are, like what to say. I want to, improve my savings and investments, because, improvement can come in many forms. If I want to become a better person than what I am now, by helping each other, by, helping each other, helping others, wherever possible. When it comes to professional, I would like to improve by, by learning my, new things and things which are related to the projects. Okay, like, I recently did, Microsoft Azure, training, which was happening in the account. So that, gives, helps me to understand better, the work of the team, what they're doing, and understand all those things. Other than that, I also, ask the team members, from some time to some time, that, what are the areas where I am lacking, or I can improve myself. Just having a retrospective on myself during the retrospective call, where I'm lacking, how I can improve myself. Again, it's not only the team members, but also this can happen at the account level, at the higher level, asking in front of the other stakeholders, where I can improve, and, what are some things that, I can improve with your manager, whenever you have a performance appraisal, discussion. Okay, that time as well, you can ask the, manager what he thinks about you, and where are the areas where, you can improve. So there are multiple ways, multiple forums where we can discuss about this, and we can find the scope of improvement. And as a Scrum Master, I think we have to be very flexible, because this is what we are teaching the other team members. Okay, so we have to be flexible with ourselves. We have to understand where are we lacking, and, as per that, improvise ourselves. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Vikas, for that. Okay. So now let's assume that your team has committed 50 story points for each iteration during the PI planning event. And but for whatever the reason, after first iteration, the team is able to complete only, let's say, 30 story points. So for the next iteration, will you be, as a team, will take 50 story point or 30 story point, assuming that your team is relatively new and this is their first PI planning
Okay.
event?
So first thing that we need to understand is that, velocity is the average, of number of, stories, points that is completed in each of the iteration. So during the PI planning, we committed 50, but in the first iteration, the team was able to complete only 30. But going further, we should not take 30 story points just because the team was able to achieve only 30 story points in the last iteration. As a Scrum Master, I will again, go as per the plan, and, I will ask the team to, try to complete the committed story points as discussed with the PI planning meeting. So only after, spending 2 or 3 iterations, everyone like me and everyone in the team will come to know what is the team, capacity, and what is the team capability to complete the work. So I'll say for this, we have to go with the plan, and also the spillovers. We have to plan accordingly, the spillovers and the, plan that we made in the PI planning, and, go with the 50 story plan as planned earlier, and see how that goes. And after, 2 or 3 sprints, we will have a velocity, after averaging the 3 or 4 sprint, velocity, we'll come to average velocity of the team, and going for further, we need to plan according to that velocity. That will be my approach as a Scrum Master. Yes, Sunan.
Okay. Okay. And what methods or ways generally we use for breaking the feature?
So there is a, what to say, there is a concept of horizontal breaking and horizontal slicing and vertical slicing. Okay, so what it actually means, I want to give with an example. So suppose there are 3 features. So one feature is on UX level. Okay, one feature is regarding the flows, or how the web pages will flow from one to other, and the other feature is moreover related to the APIs creation. Okay, so when we say, horizontal slicing, what we normally do is we break one big UX feature into multiple small UX features. Okay, again, the similarly, the one big API feature into multiple small API stories. Okay, with the PI planning. But when I say vertical slicing, what we do is we break the feature in such a way that it makes one demonstratable product. Okay, so there is a one story, one or two story from UX, one a story from flow, and one or two story from the API feature. Okay, so that together they will make a complete demonstratable feature. So the major difference, it is normally recommended that we follow the vertical slicing in Agile, because here we are focusing more on delivering value to the customer. Okay, and one complete feature will be created, and we can also find out if that feature is up to the customer expectation or not. Also, we can find out the bugs, if any bugs is coming in that particular development or not. So that is the concept behind the horizontal slicing and vertical slicing. So what I'll say, horizontal slicing is more of a feature specific, but vertical slicing, it focuses more on the value delivered to the customer. Okay. Yes, Sonal, a small explanation about that. Yeah.
Okay, Vikas. So I think, yeah, we are good for today. And thanks again for your time and all the efforts which you have put in and come up with all these questions which you have shared with our group members. So thanks again, Vikas, for your time.
Thanks, Sonal. Thanks a lot for this opportunity, Sonal. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Vikas.
Thank you.